Jin, wake up. Taehyung shook him to wake him up. Jin mumbled something and turned his side on the bed. He turned his head toward Jihop and rolled his eyes, scratching up his nose and said, "Is this the same man who said he wanted to prove someone wrong? For the past 15 minutes, we are trying to wake him up." "Unfortunately, yes," Jihop said, crossing his arms above his chest. "Let's go, Jihop. We are already late. If the sun arose, the weather will get hot. Let's go." Jihop started and both of them went out. Usually, Taehyung preferred the lawn of his house for this park, which is commonly used by a local for the morning walk. A morning, cool breeze were blowing. Birds and the trees were chirping at each other and battling over the best routing. The park was crowded than they had expected. People of the all age group were present. They were jogging, cycling, doing exercise, or like them some of for simple walking. Jeho and they would start walking on the tree and keep talking to each other. "I'm so happy you joined me. I really loving your company," they bubbled with an. "Me too. You know what? I'm not a kid anymore. Soon I'll be joining a business school and I'll impress girl with my fit look." Taehyung looked at him scared and surprised and giggled. "My brother is already fit and handsome. Girls will be impressed even if you don't do anything," they said, and Jahob winkled playfully. He sat on the bench for some rest and to watch a sunrise. The sun rays were illuminate the blue sky and it were the most perfect flame. Jahob muttered. He was jaw at the side. They moved his head toward Jahob. His feature was soft and lips were curled into a smile. "You have not seen a sunrise before?" they asked curiously. "Never," he replied. "Actually, I have never looked at him before." He continued, his eyes fixed on the side in front of him. "I think we should go now. You will get to see it tomorrow too, as well." They started. "Do you want me to join you tomorrow as well?" he said with a rising eyebrow. "Is that how it signs then?" "Yes," they said, and stood up for the bench. "Pleasure is all mine, my boy," he said and slightly bowed down, to which they giggled in reply. Both of them were walking out of the park and start going toward the house. "Someday we can go to the lake park view for the morning walk. Just imagine the view," Job said. "Yeah, it will be amazing," they replied. They were away from John's house, and they saw a dog was sitting in front of their neighbor's bungalow. They looked at the dog and took a step quickly. Job stood at the place, moving his hand forward, and uttered different voices to get the dog's attention. They looked back and gave him the quizzical look. "Job, what are you doing? Come fast. Are you poking it for follow us?" "Don't worry, I can manage it," Job said overconfidently. "Are you out of your mind? What is wrong with you? Just look at his face. It's very scary." They gritted his teeth and forced a smile. "Nothing will happen. It is tired," Job said and let out a voice again. While they was taking quick steps to get away, he was scared of dogs. The dog barked a few times and unplugged at Job. Job shrieked and started running. Theo turned his head, the color dying for his face when he looked at him. "Help!" he yelled and climbed a tree, and the dogs were standing down and barking at him. "I had warned you," they screamed. The dog moved and started running toward him. They hurriedly jumped over the green belt of their neighbor, climbing the middle-sized wall, and held the fence above the wall, tried to balance himself there. "I thought it's tired," he yelled in the distance. "What will happen now?" he said. The dog were growling. It was went back toward Jeho, a slight movement of each other of them, dogs would go toward them, the person. I'm taking my words back. They're your first and last morning walk with me. They screamed angrily. Appa, they whispered. He was terrified. Nothing will happen. Don't panic, please. Job shouted and started getting off the tree. And at the exact moment, the dog ran toward them again, and he quickly climbed back. Stupid dog. They was trying to put a brave face. Taehyung removed his slippers and threw them at the dog one by one. Please, let us go, dear. They pleaded with the time and the tearful eyes. What have we done wrong to you? Forgive Jehob. He's a kid. He won't tease you again. Jungkook picked up Ain in his hand and hovered around the house to point there as well. Today, he was supposed to reach at hospital earlier. The house empty. Everyone was still at their room. He checked every place where he could find Tae, but he was nowhere. Minji, have you seen Taehyung? Jungkook asked when he saw Minji. No, I have not seen him today, Minji replied. Ain, it seems like he's in the wall. Let's take him into the well. Jungkook said to Ain. Went outside the house, he moved his gaze toward the lawn. But he was nowhere. Where did he go early in the morning? He murmured. Minji and the driver were adjusting the pipe to water the plants. Jungkook turned his heels to go inside the house when suddenly he heard a scream from a distance. It's Taehyung, he said, and then heard another scream. Minji, please take Ain, I am coming. Jungkook said, halted Ain to Minji and exact the main gate of the house. He was shocked at the sight in front of him. Taehyung was screaming and throwing his slippers on the dog. He quickly went to the neighbor's house and called the security guard, who handled the dog. In a few minutes, the security guard tamed the dog and took it back to the house. Jungkook took a quiet steps toward him. Jehob got off the tree and silently went inside the house to save himself for his brother, and they, with Taehyung, was stand at the wall, clenching the bench tightly. Jehob just put a slipper in his hand and stood in front of the road. It's gone. You can come down now, he said softly. They shook his head in a horizontal direction. Why? He asked in confusion. I don't know how to come down. I will fall down, they said, looking down. Then how do you climb it? They asked. They replied, avoiding the gaze. He was mentally cursing Jehob for leaving him in such an embarrassment situation in front of Jungkook. He started toward Tae, moving forward his hand and said, Hold my hand and come down. They shook his head, he having a sign and wrapped both hands around his waist, and said, Leave the fence. I will fall down. They screamed with tear-filled eyes. I won't let you fall. Believe me, he assured him, and they closed his eyes tightly, loosed his grip on the fence, and quickly wrapped his arms around Jungkook's neck. Should I bring you home like this? He asked, after a few minutes when Taehyung did not leave him. He opened his eyes and realized he was standing at the side of the road holding him in his hand. They removed his hand around the neck, and he placed him down. The evidence blush and that embarrassment. They moved his face and walked toward the house with barefoot. An amused smile made its way on Jungkook's face. He picked up his slipper and again followed him. Only the entrance of the main gate of the house. Jungkook chuckled, and they froze at his place, turned back and said, What's so amusing? I didn't say anything, he shrugged. Then, why are you laughing? They shuddered and tried his best to sound confident. It is prohibited, he asked. Yeah, they huffed. The way you threw your slipper on the dog, it was amazing. You're expert. But it's come to deal with the dog. You should give training to people, he said, try to suppress his chuckle. I'm not afraid of dog, he said confidently, and flipped his hair. Suddenly the dog barked again. They become pale and quickly hug Jungkook. He stared at his face. His big hazel eyes were big in the sunlight. He brushed off the tear from the edge of his eyes and said, I never said you were scared. I just said it was amusing. He settled the slipper in front of him and said, wear them. They wore his slipper and went inside the house. He knew he was scared, but he didn't want to embarrass him more. Taehyung washed up his face and hand to get rid of the dust and sweat that took Ayn for Minji. He sat down in the living room. Ayn, you know what happened to your Umma? They beamed. And keep talking her what happened to him. Ayn was listening to him. It looked like she was understanding what her Umma was telling her. Jungkook picked up the bag, come forward, kissed Ayn and Taehyung's forehead.